facilitate, and I will pass it on to Suga.
Thanks, Mitch. I'm feeling great. Very happy to be here. I'm going to turn off my for a minute because I think that might be helpful if y'all can still hear me. Yeah, because this is like a big time conflict, so I'm excited to be here. I'm following up. I'm catching up on the board, and what was I going to say? Oh dear. I'm paying attention to, I already forgot my answer. I have the feeling you can't even hear me though. That's the problem.
No, we can hear you fine.
Griff
We're
is
just waiting.
I was like getting closer to my connection. Yeah, so for this week, I didn't write it down and now I'm totally blanking out. It was the things you posted on the in the governance channel, the three things, the karma, I will pass it back to you.
Sure, you could just write it down in the doc if you want. Let's hear from Griff.
Sorry, the unmute button was really sticky. I'm feeling great. Had a blast. My focus is on having fun with Algene, Fischel, and Ivy in real life. It's a blast. And but also I guess I'll do some fundraising work as I try to do every week. And then intentions for this call are just to, figure out what we're talking about and comment on it. I'll throw it over to Lauren.
Yay! I'm feeling good. I'm happy to hang out with you guys. Giveth is a nice community, and you're all my friends. My intentions for the week are, hashing through any comments that come on my intention for the week and the call is the Gitcoin partnership proposal that I just posted up there. So I'd love to talk about it and get some more feedback, hash through it. Also have a buddy call with Corey, so you could give her some feedback if you want. And then other than that, I'm working on getting the homepage copy done and making sure that all the issues for the devs on the homepage are all making sense. Because I was I don't know, I had some still feedback before it's all getting developed. And and I totally want to make a proposal for the karma integration because Mitch has been asking for it and I haven't been good about doing it. And I will pass it to Rochelle.
Hey everyone, happy Monday. So my focus for this week is to hang out with Team Philippines and Griff. And for Giveth related, I want to remind everyone to please submit your time reports, especially for those who are full-time or who are receiving fixed amount. We already paid you, so we just need you to submit your time reports, please. And then intentions for this call is to sync up and participate where I can. I'll pass it to Mateo.
Thank you for sharing. Hey guys, hope you have a great week. And for me, I'm not distracted. Curious for this week to keep working on the Fiat, integrating Mount Pelerin, the new version of Ramper. I think it's out, so I'll make sure before starting over some new testings on that side. I think I'll also make a release of a branch on the Spanish translations for start working on that. And Shamevine. Also, that's a good focus for this week. That's it. I'll pass it to Corey.
GM, I'm feeling good. My focus for this week is a couple different things. Continuing to work on the homepage. Got some syncs there. Also, want to make sure we're getting started on the East Denver landing page. Syncing up on the PFP collection launch strategy. And we've got the project owner survey planning to go out and a couple other comms things. So, don't have any distractions. Pretty present right now. I will pass it to, I think, Jake. You haven't gone yet.
Nope. I have not. Thank you. So I'm feeling really good. Focus for the week is some white label projects. also assisting Yaz on some grant finalization, as well as some public good routers for the week. And then we'll have a little bit of general magic biz dev outreach this week too. So a little something to spice it up. Intention for the call, always just listening, vote in where needed on the forum, etc. I joined a little late, so I'm going to pass it back to you, Mitch.
Sure, let's pass it on to Almond.
Thank you. I'm feeling good. My focus for this week is keep working on the Giveth Ambassador program, and also my intention for this call is to share a little bit about that as well. Keep working on Ethamber for the Impact Quest and the nonprofits to get onboarded, and to work in the communication strategy around the PFP collection launch. And I'll pass it to Ashley.
Thanks, Almond. I am feeling a little overwhelmed, but very excited with all the things. My focus this week, let's see. I've got the normal robot stuff like givebacks is ending this week, so we're going to do that. Listing, quantification, verification round ends this week. I've got to update my role proposal and poke my buddies to update their role proposal. Yeah, my intentions for this call to stream and maybe like talk about the quid pro quo thing. That's about it. Just sync up. And did I miss something? I think that's it. I will pass it over to Santi.
Thank you, Ashley. GM, everyone. Feeling good. This Monday, intentions for the call is just catch up, see where I'm needed, and sync with everything concerning governance. And focus for the week is going to be the PFP collection and meeting with trust nodes concerning how to set up nodes and see if we finally can move forward in that direction. And I'll pass it to Clara.
Hi everyone, thanks Santi. I'm feeling okay, happy to be here with you all. Focus for governance this week is refining stats and metrics we have started putting together for comms and beginning to focus on metrics for Communitas. Also, not so governance related, kicking off the project survey, which is due to go out tomorrow. Just like to remind anyone in the team who has a project, please look out for it in your inbox or through Twitter. Complete and encourage other projects in your network to give us some feedback. And everybody else, please spread the word and share. This project will provide us with lots of much needed feedback, I hope, on the experiences of the projects on our platform. My intention for the call is no real intention, just to make sure I'm up to date with all governance stuff. And of course, to remind everybody about the project survey. I've got no distractions, and I'd like to pass it over to Riches. Did you go? I don't think so.
I haven't got. Thanks. Hello, everyone. I feel full of energy. This week, I will be working some monthly translations and face quantifications, I think, and I'm free to other jobs if anyone needs help. My intentions for this call is listen and see how can I help. And I don't know who is next. Can you help me, Mitch, please?
Yeah, let's hear from Nico.
Yeah, thanks, Mitch. And yeah, I'm good. I'm very happy and excited for the week. And my focus for the week is to take care of some contributor concerns that we received last week. And buddy calls, of course, and also other HR-related stuff, and our Giveth database, which hopefully will be finalized this month. So I'm also excited for that. And yeah, my intention for this call is to sync up. Thank you. Back to you, Mitch.
Oh, let's pass it to Nicola.
Mitch, I was just thinking about Denver, like I've been thinking since last week. Yeah, I'm feeling, but yeah, guys, I'm feeling like I woke up with the feeling of like somebody stole all my toys, and And so I just need a hug. I love whatever Lauren is doing. Okay. So I'm feeling like that. I'm here to sync up and catch up, maybe talk about whatever is necessary to touch in the forum. And my focus for the week is going to be, all of this. Tweet thread for verified projects, figuring out my event for participation or not, finally confirming that. Coordinating speakers and participants for the Meet the Makers, which is happening this week. Oh, and also, guys, we have a Gravity monthly sync up. If anybody wants to also join, or you feeling like you want to discuss some things that are on your mind, I don't know, maybe you want to learn how to give a feedback to someone. Just FYI, you can join us Friday, 8 a.m. Yeah, and there'll be a lot more. So I'm going to pass it to, I don't know who to pass it to, maybe back to you.
Sure. How about Giantkin?
GM. I wrote this down. Let's see. Oh, I feel great. That's it. Intention for the call is just to keep up, see what's going on. What's it called? Sync up. There we go. And focus for the week is the basics. Make sure everything stays safe. That's all. I have been paying attention, but I still don't know. Kotabe, have you? So you're not on the list.
Kotabe? Kotabe! Well, while we're waiting, maybe let's hear from Amin.
Yeah, thank you. At least I know who to pass. Yeah, my app is to just sync up, see you guys, hang out with you, and yeah, that's it. I pass it to Carlos.
Thank you, Amin. Hey everyone. I'm a little bit sick with a flu, but great nonetheless. I'm just here to keep up and see what's going on, basically. Well, I was a little bit late. Who's missing? Let's see. Nicola, did you? No, yeah, Nicola went.
You can give it to Franco.
Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, I think I'm the last one. I'm feeling a little bit sick. I've been sick yesterday and today, but other than that, good. Intentions for the call, just catching up and thinking. Focus this week. It's just keep on working on the rewards team and helping with the translation. And yeah, I guess that's it for now. And back to you, Mitch.
Monique. We can't hear you though. Might be internet again. Okay. Well, feel free to type it in. I'll drop the link here. Your check-ins since issues today. Okay. But we have a little over 40 minutes left, and it sounds like a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's move right into it. First thing I wanted to add in here was I was looking at the gardens yesterday, and there is a conviction voting bot test. What the heck is this? Did anybody do this? Did Sam prank our gardens again? What is this?
I think this is from the bot that Kai added.
Ah, gotcha.
You saw it, right? In the governance channel? Well, no, actually, I think he put it in the DAO channel, but I asked him to switch it to the governance channel. So anytime a proposal is created in the gardens, we'll get a notification in that channel. I didn't realize it actually created a test one in the gardens.
I mean, it didn't. That's Kai's address, though. 1701D or 701D. Yeah.
I see. Okay, I see it here. Interesting. Okay, cool. Spot and shows up in the DAO channel as a notification. Okay, good. Mystery solved. Thanks, Ashley. Great. Moving right on into some stuff, maybe on the same level, in the multi-sigs, there's nothing to sign. But I did try out this new bot there that allows us to automatically tag people when there's a new multi-sig transaction to sign. And so that bot will be working separately in the multi-sigs channel, and we'll tag everybody every like 8 hours or something until it's signed and executed. So that's pretty cool. Snapshot, nothing for now. In the Give Garden, we have the Karma integration, which I think is set to pass in about 3 days. So I think that looks good. 2 days, actually. And that'll be good to go. In our Give DAO, there was nothing as of last night, unless somebody snuck something in. So I think we're good to go. I don't think there's too much to vote on this week, unless you want to support the Karma proposal to pass faster, but I think it's okay as is. Jumping from there right into some stuff in the forum. First thing I wanted to touch on is the Q4 vesting distribution. So nothing new here, just the updated for Q4. Have a look at this and make sure that the amounts make sense, that I didn't miss anybody that would have been eligible. You can check out how everything was calculated. And make sure that I have the right address for you to send your give to. So go ahead and take a look and leave some comments there. Again, as I mentioned, this is going to be up probably this week, and then we'll try and send it out next week.
I have a question about the vesting moving forward. Is this what's going to be used for the praise rewards moving forward, or is that going to be something different?
We were debating about this. Like, there will still always be vesting for like another, like, I don't know, I think another like 6 distributions or something. There is a budget in here that was set. So we have been setting some amount aside from this for praise. Griff also thinks that there's another bucket that exists in the token distro for praise. So that being said, there's lots of give that's been set aside somewhere for giving out for praise, which will be separate from these vesting amounts.
And this one specifically comes from the future contributors bucket, is that right?
Future and current contributors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, there's even a little section here if you want to figure out how we separated those buckets, actually. Anyway, not much to talk about there, but just double check the information and make sure it looks good, and leave me a comment otherwise. Parameterizing Karma. Again, there's still nothing on here. This has been up for 2 weeks now. And I kind of want to just close it so that I can give something to the Karma team to work on. So it would be awesome if we could get something in today. And, you know, it's nothing final. Like, if you have a better suggestion, we can try and work on it later. But yeah, been up for 2 weeks, and I was hoping to close it today. So that would be awesome. If somebody could, if you have something to submit, please do it today. Next on the docket here, the Giveth Ambassador Program. I'm going to give my voice a rest here and maybe let Alman talk about this one.
Sure. And also, Ashley, if you have something to add as well, because I know that Kotabe can't speak right now. So basically, in our efforts to grow the Giveth community and also the Giveth tools and have more voice out there. We've been working on an ambassador program in which basically it will consist on a 3-month period for us to test and to work with the first group of ambassadors. So the idea is to launch 3 local chapters in this 3-month period, meaning 3 different regions in which we can have potential ambassadors, to have donor growth and also project onboarding growth, with that being the 2 main objectives of this first launch. And the idea is to start with this as soon as possible, maybe after December. And if you go to the forum post that I recently wrote, you will also find a research that we've made around different Web3 ambassador programs. So if you want to maybe see other efforts, you can find them there. And also recently we have a session with Climate Fresk, Lucille, which is a Kotabe's friend. The Climate Fresk is a really, really successful climate program that has over 25,000 facilitators in 50 different countries. So we'll learn from Lucille and see how this actually was possible, having in mind that all the ambassadors from the Climate Fresk don't receive a payment. It's just for the joy of being part of a community and to be part of this difference from that makes this program to the world. So you can also find this session recorded in the forum post. So in this post you will find the objectives for this first 3-month period test of the ambassador program and the ambassador goals that we try to make a really low bar for them to start with us. So I have a comment here from Suga saying that how the ambassadors will be found, meaning where do we find them, who are they meant to be under the structure that you've brainstormed with other Giveth contributors. So basically the idea to found ambassadors would be mouth by mouth, meaning us inviting people that we know that are interested in the Giveth community, and also having officially people that are already ambassadors. For example, Ashley was telling me Vlad from Brazil, which is making already a great ambassador program without actually being an official ambassador. So it would be mouth by mouth, and also social media and digital channels, invitations as well. And the next step of this, after getting the community signaling, if you think that this is a good idea, would be to put the rewards in place, what the ambassadors would be gaining for this program. That I would love to do that with the broader community. So basically that's it. I don't know if Ashley, do you have something to add around this?
No, you did a great job, Almond. You're so great. Just that if you guys are interested in knowing more about this or like getting involved with this, definitely check out the recording of Lucille and the session that we had with her. It was really inspiring and eye-opening. That's all I had to add.
Yeah, thank you. That would be basically it. I don't know if someone has any comments or questions around this.
So great, Almond. I think this is a fantastic idea. Can I be on the team too?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I think that you will be great to have in the team, Suga. Thanks.
Cool. Great. Well, I think looking at the rewards, I think we'll definitely have a budget for it between just what you're talking about before around vesting. We've somehow got a pile of give somewhere that was supposed to be for contributor rewards. So whether it's what we've been taking off of the vesting or this other pool that Griff thinks, I think it'll be easy to find a budget for the Giveth ambassadors.
In our original airdrop, it's like 3.5% of the total tokens were slotted for source credit and other reward mechanisms.
Well, that seems like a no-brainer. Seems like a reward mechanism there. Great. Anything else, guys? Giveth Ambassador Program. Do you need anything from us to keep working on the next step, Holman?
Yeah, I will organize a session now that I know that Suga would love to join the team, maybe this week, to start working on the rewards and also some gamification aspects that Ashley and I have been working on as well, having maybe some tiers to the ambassadors to make it more fun. So we can start with all the details. So I'll keep you posted for the next session, working session.
Cool, that's great. If you need any help on figuring out rewards, you can ask me as well. So.
Yeah, I was planning to ask you as well too.
Okay, cool. Great. If there's nothing else on the Giveth Ambassador Program, we'll move on to the next thing. Quid pro quo. We talked about this last week, and since then we've got some updates from Humberto, basically confirming that like he would ask to, give access to some sort of course that Urbanic is offering when people make a donation to the project on Giveth. I reference kind of what happened with the Trusted Seed project and how like we can't really allow them to keep their verified status if they give out rewards to their donors. But anyway, he sent a quick response there, and maybe Ashley and Nicola chimed in here, but I'll let them maybe speak a little bit more about that if you guys want to.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, if they're purchasing something, they shouldn't get givebacks. But I guess my path forward here is I don't see why Urbanica can have two projects. One where people paid for their program, they wouldn't get givebacks for that, and one where where Urbanica could still receive donations to provide scholarships for people, because I know that that's what they do. So I'm willing to work with him this way, but I also wanted to just hear from people in this call if you have an argument as to why you think they should get givebacks for their purchase. I would take it into consideration, but I think that it's pretty clear.
I have to say, I really loved Umberto's the links that he sent, which I suppose you probably saw, Ashley. But it's interesting because at the ground level, at the base, it's definitely a philosophical issue. Like the way that he discusses this, the difference between how does he put it, commerce and commoning, and I mean, I think that's kind of a big issue. I think your answer simplifies that and makes it workable, and maybe that's just the best way to go. But I wonder if this is not going to come back frequently in the future for Giveth, this interesting division between being part of a bigger with a bigger vision of Giveth, like a bigger issue of the commons and the interactive community that we are part of building, and then this concept of commerce. I'm not going to take up more time blabbing about that, because I think the solution you just proposed is awesome. But I think this is fantastic stuff. But I'll just leave it at that. I want to just add that commentary. Thanks.
Yeah, I think it also brings up the issue around verified projects versus givebacks eligible. And like givebacks eligible means it has to be a non-excludable public good or non-excluding public good at the very least. And because, hey, pay to play, like you don't get givebacks for selling Girl Scout cookies, but you can donate to the Girl Scouts, you know? And,
Awesome. Thanks, Griff. Yeah.
yeah. And so, but it sucks that his other project for this awesome thing that people can send money to, and you know, this is his crypto like gateway, they will you know, it's not a verified project when it really should be a verified project. It's just not eligible for givebacks.
Right.
It's definitely interesting considering, and I do want to look more into the links that he sent. I watched the little video. I haven't dove deep into the whole of the links that he sent, but I think it is important to see all angles of things as we, you know, take these little tiny steps to decentralize our verification system in this process and how it works. So I do want to like learn more, and I'm not just closing the door to any new ideas, but I still firmly like agree kind of at least with the givebacks program itself. As far as the way our organizations collaborate or partner with each other, that seems more along the lines of kind of what this like commons versus commerce thing seems to be talking about for me.
Totally.
And
Totally.
not necessarily like changing the rules of our economy to make, you know, to facilitate this.
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally.
And you know, this verified and givebacks eligible thing, like, is it just like a semantics issue? You know, because I mean, verified only means that it you know, like that we checked it, and then it looks good, and then the only benefit is that it gives back. So if it's not givebacks eligible, then there's no incentive to get verified, unless you batch.
There is though, right? Like, I think it's important semantics because it's like, hey, this is actually Android Jones, and we verified that it's Android Jones. It's not a scammer pretending to be Android Jones. Hey, this Turkish family really did have their house destroyed, you know, in this earthquake. We verified it. It's not someone pretending, you know? Lauren, you unmuted?
Yeah, the other thing about it though is give power, and I know like a major part of give power is that it's just the distribution of givebacks, but also it's like the ranking, which is showing like how the projects appear on the page. And if we had if we changed and separated verified and givebacks eligible, but verified projects could still be part of like the ranking with give power, then there would still be then it would still be another benefit of getting verified. It's like verified who you are, and can like get there in the ranking. But the issue I have also with just like changing the semantics is like we talk about it all the time. Verified means that you prove that you're adding value to the community, and it's not just for personal gain. Verified means you're creating public goods. It's like we're writing it all the time on Twitter, and we're saying all donations to verified projects are eligible for givebacks constantly. That's what we say. Verified equals givebacks eligible. We say it all the time. So if we're changing that, it's like I'm like, oh no.
Even then, it's like all these verified projects get ranked and they have these give power boostings, but only some of them will actually give you givebacks. You know, if you're abstracting those, then it's like, oh, I donated to a verified project that was ranked number 5, but it isn't givebacks eligible. So it like maybe people get like more confused by having these like already many different statuses.
I think that the good solution for this, guys, would be we just leave a verified for verified projects means givebacks eligible, because that's what we're doing all the time. It's just like educating people. Why is it that you can get verified, even just about this public goods aspect? But maybe there is a third option that I actually briefly like had an idea last week after checking in with Ashley is maybe we don't want to call. Maybe there is a third section and the projects are called approved, which means that they have been reviewed and they have been doing the work, even though that they don't, their product is not like a public goods aspect. Maybe they're just like collecting funds for their burnt house. But if we can like give it a little more research and say it's approved, this project is really doing the work, then we can create a third section for projects that are actually legit projects that are doing the work. They're just not eligible for the verified program, and they're not complete trash, because we have the third option of the projects that are just like projects that actually fit in the basic listing guidelines, but are not very, it's hard to say if they're like real. So that would be my idea, to just create a third option that we call something else.
Yeah, she had mentioned something like the blue check mark that people get on Twitter or something like this, where it's just like a little symbol that says, we looked at your project, we know you are who you say you are, even if you don't get givebacks.
The only requirement for staying approved would be that you post update every 3 months. That's it, maybe.
I like that idea. The check mark thing is a good idea.
Yeah, I like that idea too. It could be a subtle signal, but it's still there. And then the verified is still much more of a bigger signal or something like this.
I think this is going to be very complicated.
You think so? Why?
There's already at least looking from Monique. Monique's probably just like thrashing in his room right now, because you have canceled, deactivated, listed, unlisted, verified. There's like already 7 different project statuses, and so it's like, oh, we have approved, and it's like this specific use case. How does it show up on the homepage? Do we have a filter for it? Like, oh man.
Why don't you let Monique speak?
I totally agree with Mitch.
Yeah, there's all the edge cases. It's like, we give it a blue check mark, and then it's like, okay, where does it fit in among all the other statuses?
You're right, but the first solution is also not the ideal one, right? When we diverse what's verified and verified, or givebacks eligible or not.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same kind?
Yeah, also the token matter for information. We have verified that is eligible for givebacks, but even you try to donate with non-giveback eligibles tokens, you're not get givebacks.
Well, I mean, if you guys feel strongly about it based on Humberto's case here, and want to open up the project status can of worms, I think you probably need to fit it into something more concrete. But
yeah, it's
that's my
definitely
take.
something that the ideation phase has been ongoing. And, it goes back to some of the forum posts that we talked about, like with Marco, and removing verified altogether, because it kind of casts a shadow on these other projects in the same way that, like Griff was saying, and I totally agree. So I do think that there is something that we can do to improve our statuses.
That's the big thing. If you're not verified, it's like Android's project is not Android Jones's house burnt down, and he can't get a verified stamp of approval. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe then to that point, if we already have so many statuses, can one of them be adapted to include this definition or something instead of creating a new one? The thought as well.
I mean,
Anyway,
there's
looks
also
like some
talk
more
about,
thought needs to go
putting
into
some
it.
stricter boundaries on our listed projects. I remember in our stewards call it came up that some of the projects, people, Marco and Kai mentioned that a couple of the projects looked like scams or looked kind of shady. So maybe this is a step we can take with our listed, and we get a little bit more strict with our our quality assurance guidelines. And maybe if it's, I don't know, maybe it's something to be included there.
I would like to see this maybe with some thought thrown into a forum post, because it seems like there's a lot of things to talk about. And I want to give some space to talk about the Gitcoin partnership, actually, because that's another big one to unpack.
Yeah, I think when we're ready to move forward, I'll make a forum post, so keep an eye out for it. Right now, we're working towards this like quality score thing, and then I just can only work on one initiative at a time.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, I don't think we can work on both of these at the same time. It'd be too confusing. To push. Okay. Maybe Lauren, just maybe you want to take it away while I'm finishing up these notes.
Yeah, sure. So, this morning I just posted an hour ago, so you probably didn't see it. In the forum, this post about a Giveth and Gitcoin comprehensive partnership. It is a very long post. I'm sorry it got so long. Basically, this came about from conversations with Kevin Owocki and Griff talking about like, hey, what is our bigger overarching shared mission and how can we support each other to get there? Because sometimes it feels like we're like building similar things or sort of competing but not competing, and how can we actually like create a little bit more cooperation across teams and help each other out? So like the ideas, I mean, like from kind of like top of the post to the bottom, it's kind of explaining big picture that like solving the problem of how we fund and create public goods is really important if we want to change the world. That's the preamble. And then it explains like who Giveth is and the common stack, and then like what Gitcoin is working on. And what Gitcoin is working on is like primarily kind of like QF, civil protection and collusion. And then they're working on kind of like building sort of like coordination mechanisms like modularly on top of that to just like kind of like improve tech like QF. So anyway, they're like decentralizing the grants protocol, calling it Allo. And that's all explained here in the post as well. So if we kind of go back to like where these two things intermesh, we've got Giveth and we got Gitcoin, and the argument is that like great collaboration emerges when we have great interoperability that's social, economic, and technical. So we already have really good social interoperability. Like a lot of people on our team is friends with their team, and we have people who work with us and them, like Kirk, or other people who used to work with us, like Chris, who now works with them. And like, there's a lot of kind of like friendship and like getting along vibes between people, great memes. And like, we're ultimately kind of like moving towards the same things. We've also got like Griff featured on a couple of Kevin Owocki's podcasts, like that coordination mechanisms one, which is super long. And anyway, all of these things are like, look, we already have great social interoperability, but there's like some things that we could actually improve, like from the technical side, like having a little bit more like technical protocol interoperability. Like imagine if projects who are added to Giveth and then verified on Giveth could easily just get like from there apply to be part of a QF round. Imagine if we had like a shared project registry. So then also that projects who were applying for grants on Gitcoin that kind of like went through their process ended up as verified projects on Giveth as well. Like that would be like a huge opportunity there as well. So there's like a couple of points in here regarding kind of like all the different things that we could work on together in the future, and some of the ideas that came out of conversations with Owocki and with Kevin Olson, who's leading the Allo protocol, decentralized grants. And then there's like a couple of places that we diverge. Like, I mean, Gitcoin Super Modular is like they're, working on QF and making QF super epic, and then kind of like adding onto that, focusing a little bit like on R&D regarding grants. And then kind of something that Giveth is doing that's different from them is like our DAO stuff. It's like, and like stuff that the Common Stack is doing, creating DAO toolkits, and our long-term vision of like giving those DAO toolkits to nonprofits. Anyway, there's a lot of ideas in here, but then the practical next steps are really that we're looking at doing a quadratic funding integration on Giveth and kind of making it like relatively simple, integrating Gitcoin Passport and giving them our transaction data so that we can take advantage of their fraud detection civil team. And then getting their support with like raising matching funds, and then like working on improving a UI for like how those funds are distributed. We wouldn't have like a cart right off the bat, and we wouldn't really be using the Allo protocol, but over time kind of like moving in that direction. yeah, anyway, so all of this like explainer of like how that QF integration would work and like where like that would go in the long term, or why we decided not to use Allo, or why we're thinking of not using Allo, is all in there as well. And so the post is like really, really condensed with a lot of information. It's like there's huge opportunity for collaboration here. Here's a bunch of different ideas of things that we could do. And the idea is like, hey, what do you think about all this? Do you think this QF thing is a good idea to go forward? Do you think like, do any of these like ideas for collaboration seem like very interesting and important to you? Like, how do you see us aligning long term? And this is what the post says in 5 minutes.
And you put a quote in here. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Griff made me put that in. Because the thing about working with Gitcoin, I mean, if like, you know, their Allo protocol, for example, it's like, you know, we all just participate in this alpha round, and oh my God, there were so many issues with Passport and all these things. If we're going to be integrating Passport, we're going to be like bumping into different issues by using that integration. We're going to be kind of held up a little bit by their development team, and our development team is going to have to work with theirs. So there's going to be like hiccups and coordination problems and issues that we kind of need to move through. But I think that there is still a huge opportunity. Like the huge advantage of doing that is like, just like, then we get to kind of like combine our resources and sort of like keep building more in harmony together. Yep.
Yes. Well, my first concern is that this QF thing relies on actually getting funding. So what strategies will we use to make this more successful than the Giveth matching pool's already been? Would we just say QF and cross our fingers that people want to put money in it?
No, well, this is one thing that Gitcoin brings to the table, is that they have a lot of experience in fundraising. And like, I also talked with Scott Moore when we were in Toronto, and he does a lot of fundraising for the Gitcoin matching pool, and they would be willing to help us also with our fundraising. And kind of like, like they would be willing to help us use their resources to help fund this matching pool. And even like Kevin Owaki said, he would like donate to bring it up to X amount. I can't remember how much, but he would like personally donate X amount so that we'd have like at least like 10K or 15K to just like run a short, simple round.
Because that's the thing, like you build it and it needs to stay funded, or else it just like, it doesn't work, right? So
definitely.
If we haven't been successful now, it's like clear ways that like this is actually going to work if we build this.
I think it also gives us the opportunity, because people are used to QF and they feel it and at least in our circles. Like if someone wanted to make a large donation, like instead of Martin donating to that one UBI project, he could say, hey, I'd like to donate $100,000 to UBI projects. And then we would go out there and say, hey, we have a donor who wants to donate 100K to UBI projects. Let's go get all the UBI projects that are out there and then, you know, create a cause round around it. And then we could actually like, you know, get a bunch of UBI projects, have them start advertising about Giveth basically so they could get their donors to donate on Giveth. And you know, it's a very virtuous cycle.
So then let's think about this. If we want this interoperability, and Gitcoin projects are on Giveth and Giveth projects are on Gitcoin through Passport or whatever, why would I donate to Giveth's matching pool over Gitcoin's matching pool?
Well, it's for a round specifically. Like it's like we would be raising funds for a quadratic matching round. It's like we have like a funding cap or whatever, and we're like, put in for this round. Then we run the round and we distribute all those funds. I think that's also like how Gitcoin.
If I had to choose which matching pool to fund, you know, as in quote unquote investor.
I mean, I think the best way to do it is to like fund them according to which one is doing the round. It's like it's round funding. Are you funding? Yeah, which round are you funding?
I think we can also approach different people, right? Like we can approach Martin, you know, and they might be approaching other groups for using theirs. But honestly, you know, theirs is very alpha and it has a lot of UX issues and it only runs on one chain because it's because it has smart contracts underneath. And yeah, it's a little clunky. I mean, I think that we can actually be a more user-friendly experience than what they have. I mean, eventually, I'm sure they'll be on par, but at least to start, I think if we go the centralized route of and not use smart contracts, it'll actually be a better product.
Yeah, and I also think just like in the long term, like it doesn't need to be like, who are you going to fund, our matching pool or their matching pool? It's like, I don't understand why we can't just be like, we're running QF rounds, and it could be like one and the same thing. Like maybe we're just like, maybe we even have like a common QF matching pool. And then it's like, depending on if the round is running on Giveth or on Gitcoin, like those funds can go in either direction. I think that this is like part of the discussion here of like, how can we create like more interoperability so that we're not competing, but we're actually like both raising for to support the projects in the best way we can. And then also come to the table with like different complementary skills. Like Gitcoin is better at fundraising than we are for the matching pool. They have a lot of experience and they've been doing it, but then we're better at like the tokenomics side of things. And that's something that they were expressing needing support and help on. So it's kind of like, how can we help them with what we're good at? Well, they help us with what they're good at.
Well, and wouldn't people get givebacks for donating to the matching pool on Giveth? So that's one,
yeah.
I mean, that's already one reason why people would donate on Giveth rather than Gitcoin.
Yeah, they would also get givebacks for donating here as a small project too. You know, like if you donate that $1, you get some givebacks. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good point. But does anyone else have anything like more existential about the Gitcoin Giveth partnership, or any other comments?
I don't know if it's existential, but I'm curious, like, if we were to accept their projects on our platform as verified projects, we would have to kind of like standardize the bar between the two of us, because I think as of right now there are projects on Gitcoin that wouldn't be considered eligible for the givebacks program.
Definitely. And I think that like this is like a point of discussion. Like this is just like one part of the larger discussion. It's like an opportunity is having a shared project registry. The path forward is like, how are we actually going to do that? Well, we have these standards for verifying projects. Like we'd have to talk to them about figuring out like, what are they doing to check to see if projects are okay? Like, where's that overlap? And then like, how can we like actually make something like this work? So it's like the point that you're bringing up, Ashley, I think is like, if that's something that we're then working towards, it's like those types of questions we start discussing with them until we find the solution that makes sense.
I'm curious if we can organize something with them while we're in Denver, because there will probably be a lot of people there in person, and maybe like get together on like a brainstorming session with a couple of people from Gitcoin and us, and maybe we go to dinner or something, or maybe we open it up and make it available online too, so people could join virtually. I'm not sure, but maybe it would be good to get like people in the room talking about these different things so we can see what they are doing over there.
I think that's a good idea. They also have a Gitcoin retreat-y kind of thing for like a few days, and maybe we could make it like during the same time a lot of Gitcoin people are going to be gathering anyways. Yeah, maybe that's something we can put together in the December call.
Unfortunately, their gathering was like, oh, you have to pay $1,200 to come or something like that. We're not going to.
Yeah, it was like 3 days with accommodations and like dinners, and you're trapped there forever. It seemed nice, but expensive and too much time. I love the emoji.
I just wanted to say, Griff, since you asked existentially, if there's any comments. I love those kinds of comments. And from the collaboration and interoperability standpoint, it really makes a lot of sense to choose someone like Gitcoin and look at how we can be interoperable with another platform, at least on the Ethereum side. And then hopefully through that process, we're preparing ourselves for how to be interoperable in many other ways. I have had a couple of really great conversations with folks with Seeds and Haifa DAO who have said they've been watching Giveth for a long time, wondering when there would be a time to be able to collaborate. And I know we're not there yet, but this feels like a good step towards that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that's like the biggest opportunity here. Like this conversation around integrating QF on Giveth, that's just like the way we're going to start increasing our like technical interoperability. It's just like step one. And then step two can be like using Allo protocol or creating a shared project registry or kind of like whatever we discover. But I think when we start working more with their team, then we'll be able to see also better like the best way to move forward from there.
I'm also curious how
it's good for the whole ecosystem.
Sorry, Danny. I'm just curious how this will affect us like legally. As far I remember, there was some issues with like Gitcoin not allowing certain grants on their platform because of legal things. Like, would our collaboration with them or like this amalgamation with Gitcoin put us at any legal obligation like they are?
I don't think so. And I also think that like with Gitcoin decentralizing, then they're becoming like less of an American corporation and more of a DAO. Then it's like they're moving kind of like out of those legal wrapper things. One thing that we did talk about explicitly in our call was like regarding GTC, and before it was like GTC is not an economic thing and has no economic value, but like now it does, and they're gonna like make liquidity pools, and they're like kind of like getting to a point where now that they can do that because of some legal hurdles that they're running into. But anyway, I think it's like that's something, I mean, we can also just kind of clarify with them, but from what I can tell, it doesn't seem there's going to be an issue.
Yeah, I wanted to mention also that it also brings the idea of causes. It just came up an idea from me, like instead of just donating to something in Giveth, we can make a cause donation that goes straight to a Gitcoin round that is specified on environment or whatever. So we can put like a particular pool that goes directly to a QF Gitcoin round.
I gotta call this here, folks, because we're eating into the fundraising call, I think.
And one, that's saying that only Nosy Safe, are they able there? I think not. You need to discuss that, Lauren.
Yeah.
That won't be an issue for us because we're not using their smart contracts.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think there's more discussion here, folks, but we're over time. Please add your time reports for January. It's in the schedule here. And also just a reminder for your buddy review calls, okay? All right. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Thanks, Mitch.
Don't forget to follow up in the forum with all the things we talked about today.
Thank you, Mitch.